I lost the love of my life because I listened to my foolish friends. I don't know if I'm exaggerating, if I need to vent, or if I'm truly at a stage in my life where I don't know what I want, but I need to let it out. Maybe someone out there can help me understand myself better, or maybe I just need to write it down to clear my mind. I'm 23 years old, finishing my degree in my last 2 semesters, and I live with my boyfriend, Santiago, and have for almost a year, though we've been together for a little over 2 years. We moved in together because things were going well and it felt like the natural next step. He's 25, works at a company where he's been for years, and is super responsible. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't party. In short, he's a good man, kind, thoughtful, always looking out for me. He sends me sweet messages during the day, asks how I'm doing, cooks for me when I'm stressed about exams, and is the kind of guy who hugs you and makes you feel at home. We live in a small but nice apartment, not luxurious, but clean, cozy, warm, decorated with things we chose together are things. I always felt lucky to have him because, honestly, Santiago is one of those rare guys you'd say, this is the one I'd marry. And yes, we talked about the future several times, building a life together, a home, even kids. Nothing concrete yet, but it was in the air. He always said, when you finish your degree, you'll be able to do what you love and I'll be here to support you. And yes, it sounds sweet, it sounds ideal, but lately I don't know. For the past few months, I've been going out more often with my friends Camilla and Daniela. They've been my friends since high school, and honestly, we've always been a bit of a chaotic trio. They're single, independent, free, according to them, and always have stories about hookups, parties, and last-minute trips. They live in the moment, and I won't lie, I love that energy. They make me laugh, distract me, and make me feel alive when I'm with them. The problem is they don't understand my relationship, or they don't respect it, or they just don't value it. Every time we're together, they make comments like, how do you stand being with the same guy all the time? Doesn't so much routine bore you? Santi's sweet, yeah, but don't you feel tied down? You're young, Julieta. You should be experiencing everything, not stuck at home cooking for a man. At first, I laughed it off. I told them they didn't understand what a stable relationship was, that not everything is about excitement and drama. But after hearing it so much, something inside me started to doubt. I began changing things, small things I thought, but now that I'm writing this, I realize maybe they weren't so small. For example, I used to cook almost every day, not because it was my duty, but because I enjoyed it. I love experimenting with recipes, playing music, seeing his face when something I made turned out well. And Santiago always helped. He'd do the dishes, set the table, clean up. It was teamwork. But I started feeling like I was playing the role of a housewife without being one, and one day I just stopped. When he asked if we were having dinner, I said something like, it's not my job to cook, you know. He stayed quiet. He didn't argue, just said I was right and started cooking more often or ordering takeout. I also started going out more. Sometimes I'd tell him I was going out with my friends and would be back early, but I'd come home at 2 or 3 a.m. Sometimes I wouldn't even let him know I was on my way. He'd say he was worried, that he didn't know if I was okay, that my phone would die and I wouldn't answer. I'd snap back annoyed as if he were my dad saying, don't control me, Santiago, I'm not your daughter. And that's when things started to break. About 3 weeks ago, I came home at 3:20 a.m. I was a bit drunk, laughing louder than usual as I walked in and saw him awake on the couch. He said something like, I don't want to fight, but it hurts that you prioritize people who don't care about you. That stung, not because he was right, though I think he was, but because it made me feel attacked. I got defensive. I told him he was controlling, that he couldn't expect his girlfriend to be like a pet at home, that my friends understood me better than he did. He just stayed silent. Then he told me to go to bed and that we'd talk the next day. I'm the one with the problem. Since then, something shifted in the air. Santiago stopped sending me sweet messages like before. He talks to me politely but coldly. He gives me space, doesn't interfere if I go out, doesn't ask who I'm with. He gives me complete freedom, and I don't know why that's making me uncomfortable. Now I feel ignored and guilty at the same time. I don't know if I'm sabotaging this, if I'm ruining something good because of other people's influence, but I also wonder if I needed to live a little more. I don't know if I got into something too big for me too young, or if I'm just not ready for such a stable, orderly, calm life. Is it normal to miss the thrill of chaos? Is it wrong to want freedom without losing the good things you have? I'm a mess, and the worst part is I feel like he's pulling away more every day, and I don't know if I should stop him or let him go. Has anyone ever gone through this? Is this a phase? Am I ruining something real because of a few nights of partying? I don't know what I'm looking for with this post. I just know I'm full of doubts and it's hard to find clarity. Thanks for reading. Update: last night I did something for fun, and now I can't stop thinking I betrayed my partner. I don't even know how to start this. I'm writing this with a mix of guilt, shame, and confusion. Yesterday was a night like many I've had lately, or so I thought until I woke up feeling like garbage. Nothing serious happened, if you can even say that, but I feel like something inside me broke, and I keep wondering if I finally crossed a line. I went out with Camilla and Daniela, my usual friends, the ones who tell me not to tie myself down so young, to experience life, to live, that I still have so much to discover before settling down. We went to a new bar with electronic music and drinks with weird names. It was packed, intense atmosphere, everyone dancing, shouting, drinking. Camilla dressed up more than usual, and Daniela wore that dress she says guarantees at least 3 guys drooling over her. I wore something cute but not over the top, or so I told myself. We were drinking, laughing, talking loudly over the music. Then Daniela threw out a challenge, one of those stupid challenges that seem like a joke but end up being darker than you want to admit. She leaned in between drinks and laughter and said, "I bet you don't have the guts to talk dirty to the guy in the black shirt." I laughed, thinking it was a joke. What? And Camilla, like a circus ringleader, chimed in, "If you get him to show a bulge, we'll pay for your drinks all night." I laughed again, told them they were crazy, that it wasn't me, that it was stupid. But they kept pushing, joking, laughing, filming videos for their stories, saying, "Come on, Jules, you're gorgeous. Use your charm." I don't know why I did it. I don't know if it was the alcohol, the heat, the lights, the pressure, or the need to feel free for a moment. Maybe I just wanted to prove to myself that I was still desirable. Or maybe I wanted someone to look at me like in the movies. So I did it. I walked over to the guy. He was holding a beer, watching the DJ. He was good-looking, not stunning, but attractive. I stood next to him, smiled, asked if he came there often. Yes, a cheesy teenage line, I know. We started talking. At first, it was normal. Then I changed my tone, made my voice softer, more suggestive. I made double entendre jokes, said things I wouldn't even say jokingly around Santiago. And yeah, I did it. I saw his posture change, the way he looked at me, his eyes dropping to my mouth. I literally saw the reaction in his pants, and I knew I'd won the damn challenge. I went back to my friends, and they burst into laughter, clapping for me. Camilla said, "You're a goddess." Daniela raised a drink in my honor, and I laughed, but inside, something hit me like a ton of bricks. The guilt came late, but it came. We went back to our table, kept drinking, danced a bit more, but I wasn't the same. I felt like something inside me didn't fit, like I saw myself from the outside doing something that wasn't me, that wasn't us. Because while that guy was looking at me with desire, I was thinking about Santiago, his sleepy face in the mornings, how he makes me coffee with milk without me asking, how he carries the groceries, how he asks if I got home safe when I'm out, how he listens to me talk about my career even though he doesn't understand design, how he waits up for me when I'm out with my friends without complaining, how he sometimes falls asleep worried but doesn't make a scene because he trusts me. And there I was, talking dirty to a stranger to get a reaction. I feel like I betrayed all of that, threw it on the ground, even if it was just a game, even if I didn't kiss anyone, didn't touch anyone, didn't go home with him. It wasn't what I did, but where it came from. It wasn't just a guy. It was validation, it was ego, it was feeling alive, like my friends say, at the expense of someone who's always been there for me. I got home at 3:45. Santiago was asleep, as usual, but this time he didn't leave a folded blanket on the couch for me. No little get home safe message, nothing. I got into bed, slid next to him, felt his warm back, closed my eyes and wanted to cry. I thought about telling him everything, but I hated myself just imagining his face. I don't deserve his hugs if he knew what I did. I don't deserve his patience. I don't know if this can be fixed. I don't know if it's reversible. What's wrong with me? Am I looking for excuses to sabotage something good? Am I letting myself be swayed by people who don't understand what I have? Or am I really discovering I'm not the person I thought I was? I feel like someone who has a beautiful vase at home, but goes looking for a plastic one on the street just because someone said it looked shinier. I don't know if I'm a bad person. I don't know if this counts as infidelity. I don't know if it was just a drunken mistake or a sign I'm heading down a path I won't like when I see where it ends. But I know I don't want to keep doing things that make me feel like garbage the next day. Thanks for reading this far. I'm not expecting applause or excuses. I just needed to get it out. I haven't told anyone, not even my friends. They still think it was funny, but I'm not laughing anymore. Update, I'm back. It's been 2 weeks since my last post, since I wrote about that stupid bar challenge, since I felt guilty for talking provocatively to a guy for fun. I thought a lot about what people said in the comments. Some judged me, I get it. Others tried to make me see I could still save my relationship if I was honest and broke the cycle of partying and confusion. Some wrote beautiful things that made me think about what I had. And yes, for a few days, I tried to behave. I stayed home more, didn't go out as much, even cooked for Santiago one night. He hugged me, but something was different. He wasn't the same. I think something in him broke a while ago, and I realized it too late. When you start feeling like you no longer fit in the life you built, any push can send you into the void. This weekend, Camilla invited me to a party at her friend's house, a guy who'd thrown hints at me before, named Dario. Handsome, charming, the kind of guy who seems to live without a single worry, always with an unbuttoned shirt, confident gaze, expensive cologne. At first, I didn't want to go. I told myself it was pointless, that it wouldn't add anything. But Camilla insisted, and Daniela too, saying, "Come on, Jules, enough staying home like a grandma." You're young, you're beautiful. What are you doing stuck in a boring relationship with a guy who doesn't even have a car? There they were again, those words that have haunted me for months. Young, beautiful, stuck, boring. I agreed, got dressed up, put on a short, tight black dress, looked in the mirror, and felt pretty. I felt like I hadn't in weeks, like I had power again. We got to the party, loud music, beautiful people, drinks sparkling on the terrace, laughter, dim lights, the kind of atmosphere where anything seems possible and nothing has consequences. Between drinks, Camilla came up to me and said something that hit me harder than it should have. Julie, you're too much for just one person. You've been living like a grandma these past 2 years. Enough. Live, even if it's just for one night. Daniela chimed in. Do you know how many women would kill for the chance to be single, free, without explanations? You have that now, take it. I laughed, told them they were crazy, that it wasn't that easy, that I loved Santiago. But they looked at me with that oh, come on face and said loving someone doesn't mean locking yourself away like a nun. Dario came over, smiled, handed me a drink, said my dress should be illegal. I laughed, called him silly. He said, then arrest me. It was cliché, I know, but in that moment, with the alcohol, the lights, those inner voices telling me I'd lived too much for others, I let myself go. We slipped away from the party, went upstairs to a room, closed the door. What happened was quick, clumsy at first, then intense. I'm ashamed to write it, but I have to be honest with myself. I enjoyed it. Yes, as awful as it sounds, there was a moment where I closed my eyes and let go, where I didn't think about Santiago, just about me, my body, my pleasure, how alive I felt, how desired. It was different. Dario wasn't tender. He was wild, passionate, whispered things in my ear Santiago would never dare. He touched me like he'd known me for years, and for a moment I forgot everything else. But when it was over, when the silence hit, when I heard the music from downstairs again, the guilt crashed over me like a wave. I got dressed in silence, left the room like I was coming back from another world. I took an Uber home. I couldn't look at Santiago when I walked in. He was asleep, as always, his breathing calm, his arms outside the blanket. I stared at him for several seconds, thinking about everything he's given me, how he brought me food at the university, how he held me when I failed that class, how he helped me fill out internship applications, how he calls me little bug when I'm sleepy. I felt like a traitor, but also free. I don't know how to explain it. It's like something inside me broke and opened at the same time, like I did something terrible, but somehow necessary. I'm going to end things with Santiago. I can't keep pretending. I don't want to live this double life, this silent guilt. I don't deserve his patience, and he doesn't deserve someone who doesn't choose him every day. I'll tell him the truth, not everything, but that I was with someone, that I'm sorry, that I love him but not like before, that I need another phase, to be alone or at least not with him. Yes, I know it sounds selfish. I know it's not the best way to end a relationship, but at least it'll be honest. I won't lie to him or cheat on him any longer. I'm 23, I'm young, I'm pretty. I'm not going to tie myself to a man yet. I don't want to live regretting what I didn't do. Maybe later I'll find someone and build something serious, but not now. Now I want to try, go out, make mistakes, discover. If that makes me look bad to some, so be it. That's who I am. That's how I feel. I don't know if I'm on the right path, but it's the only one I can take right now without lying to myself. Thanks to those who have read, who have judged, who have tried to understand. I'm not perfect, not an example of anything, just a girl in crisis doing the best she can with what she feels. Update: I didn't think I'd write again so soon. I said I was going to end things with him, tell him everything and face the consequences, but not like this. Not the way it happened last night. I'm shaking as I write this. I haven't slept. My heart feels like it's trying to burst out of my chest, and I don't know how to make sense of what happened, but I need to get it out somehow. Yesterday, I went out with Camilla and Daniela. It wasn't a party this time, just a chill dinner at Daniela's place. They said they were bored and wanted to hang out, so I went thinking it'd be a normal evening. I'd already decided I'd talk to Santiago the next day, tell him everything, or at least the core of it, that I was with someone else, that I was sorry, but I couldn't continue. I didn't know how I'd say it, but I'd rehearse some lines in my head, as if that would make the fall less painful. During the dinner, something felt off. Camilla and Daniela were acting weird, laughing between themselves like they knew something, making cryptic comments like, "Oh, when he sees that, poor guy. Do you think he's seen it yet?" Then they'd look at me with awkward smiles like I wasn't part of the conversation. I asked what was going on. They said nothing, that I was crazy, that the wine was making me paranoid, but something in their tone gave me a bad feeling. I didn't say anything else, didn't want to fight. I just thought, okay, tomorrow I end things with Santiago and close this chapter. It doesn't matter anymore. If only I'd known. I got home around 9 p.m., walking down the hallway, thinking about how I'd tell him everything the next day, whether I'd make coffee first, whether I'd do it sitting or standing, whether I'd cry. I was thinking about those things when I saw it. My things, all my things were piled up outside the door, my backpack, a suitcase, a box with my books, my toiletries, my makeup, even my charger. For a second I thought there'd been a fire, or they were fumigating, or it was a mistake. I knocked. Santiago opened the door, looked at me. His eyes were dry. No anger, no tears, no shouting, just a coldness I'd never seen in him before. I didn't say anything, and he just said, "We're done, take your stuff." I was frozen, not understanding. What? Why? I barely managed to ask. And then, without raising his voice, he said, "Camilla sent me a photo. You and that guy coming out of the room. I don't need explanations. Not anymore." My soul dropped to the floor. It was like all the air in the world left me in an instant. What photo? When? Why did she send it? Why now? And he just said, "It doesn't matter why. I deserve to know." That's what she said. Camilla, my friend, the one who pushed me to live wildly, to let go, to try things, who celebrated me, who encouraged me to leave him, who said I deserved more. She was the one who sent the photo. A clear shot of me leaving Dario's room, my dress wrinkled, hair messy, with that look of having done something I shouldn't have, his arm around my waist. The image spoke for itself. And with the photo, Santiago said, came a message. "Look at your perfect little girlfriend. I'm your friend, but you deserve to know this. You're too good for her." I was in shock, not just because I'd been caught, but because I never thought Camilla would stab me in the back like that. The same person who pushed me, laughed with me, cheered me on when I did it. Why would she betray me now? Maybe she was never my friend. Maybe she was just a morbid spectator waiting to see me ruin myself. I tried to talk, I really did. I said, "I was going to tell you tomorrow. I was going to be honest. I didn't want it to happen like this." And he replied, "Sure, tomorrow, after another party, another guy, another lie." Then he closed the door, just like that. Now I'm at my sister's place. I can't stop crying. I don't know if it's for Santiago, for me, for Camilla, for everything. I thought I'd have control, that I'd decide when and how, that I'd free myself and it'd be easy. Now I'm alone, kicked out, exposed, betrayed. Santiago won't talk to me. He blocked my number, my socials. It's like he's vanished. I don't blame him. I feel like an idiot, not for being unfaithful, because I'd already accepted that, but for playing with someone who never played me dirty, for choosing friends who pushed me off a cliff and then threw a rock at me as I fell. I don't know if this was a deserved punishment. I don't know if I'm being dramatic. I just know that last night I learned something. You can't play with the loyalty of someone who never failed you, because the day they let you go, you won't know how to live without it. I'm going to try to sleep, or at least try. I just needed to write this down. Update: it's been a few days since the night Santiago kicked me out of his life, since I saw all my things at the door like I was a stranger, since everything came crashing down. But something kept swirling in my head. Camilla, my friend, my accomplice, the one who encouraged me to live wildly, to let go, to try things, who celebrated every step, and then sent that photo to Santiago to destroy me. I couldn't move on without knowing why she did it. I needed to face her to get an explanation. So today I went to her apartment unannounced. She opened the door with an annoyed look, like I was interrupting her afternoon. Her hair was tied up, she was wearing a baggy t-shirt, like she'd just woken up, not a hint of guilt on her face. "What are you doing here?" she said, like I was a stranger. I got straight to the point. "I just want to know why you did it. Why did you send that photo? Why did you push me into the abyss and then shove me again as I was falling?" Camilla laughed, literally laughed, crossed her arms, leaned against the doorframe like this was a telenovela scene. "Oh, princess, you really don't get it." My heart was pounding, and then she let it all out, no shame, no filter, no soul. "You talked so much and so sweetly about Santi that I got curious. And honestly, I don't think you deserve him. You don't even know what you want, Jules. You were always whining, crying about wanting to live, to experience, so I just gave you some rope to see if you'd fall. And wow, did you fall hard, sweetheart." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It felt like a nightmare. "Was it all planned?" I asked, trembling. "Not exactly," she said. "But when I saw you were willing to throw away a good man for some drinks and a guy like Dario, I knew you weren't on his level anymore. Santi has his own apartment at 25, a steady job, money, potential. He's not a boy, he's a man. A little inexperienced, sure, but with some sweet words, he'll come to his friend Camilla for comfort. And yeah, I won't lie, I've already sent him a couple of sexy but classy photos. Everything starts with the eyes, babe." I couldn't breathe. It was like standing in front of a snake that had been hugging me for years, waiting to release its venom. I screamed at her with all the pain I'd been holding in. "You're a traitor, a stupid bitch, a trash person." She didn't flinch, just looked at me like I was a noisy insect. "Oh, calm down. Weren't you all about being modern, free, empowered? Isn't that what you wanted? To live, to try, to experiment? Well, you did, didn't you? It just didn't work out for you." "It works out for me, Julieta, because I never fall for the experiment." I left, I slammed the door, and it hurt me more than it hurt her. I'm not going to pretend I'm a victim. I'm not. I was a coward. I was selfish. I let myself be swayed by people with bad intentions and worse, pushed away the one who had good ones. I traded real love for empty validation. I gave my loyalty to people who just wanted to see me fall apart. Santiago was many things, not perfect, but he loved me, cared for me, respected me, and I failed him. Now the friend who cheered me on, who pushed me to live free, wants to take what I destroyed. And the worst part is she might succeed, because Santiago's heart is broken, and she's an expert at slipping into the cracks. I deserve this, not for making one mistake, but for doubling down on it, for not listening, for not valuing. Today I learned that freedom without conscience isn't freedom, it's just chaos with makeup. And it hurts. It hurts to have learned it this way. It hurts to have lost everything by playing at being someone I'm not. Will I be okay? I don't know. For now, I just want to disappear, erase everything, even myself. But if someone reads this and is in a similar place, I'll say one thing. Be careful who you call a friend. Be careful what you wish for. Sometimes the price of living life is losing the only thing that was truly worth it. Thanks for reading. This will be my last post.